Buying a house is a significant financial commitment that warrants careful consideration. Therefore, weighing the pros and cons of home ownership is essential since it will significantly impact your finances and lifestyle. Now, this video would explore the advantages and disadvantages of purchasing a house here in the UK. Now, in this video, I'm talking about buying a house for personal use and not for an investment property. To ensure the video flows smoothly, I will first discuss the pros of purchasing a house in the UK. Following that, I will discuss the drawbacks. And in between points, I will share why the advantages of being a house owner outweighs the disadvantages for me and why my husband and I decided to buy instead of renting a house here in the UK. Now, let's talk about the pros. The first one is financial stability and equity buildup. One primary advantages of owning a house here in the UK is the potential for financial stability and equity buildup. And this is the primary reason why we decided to buy a house here in the UK instead of renting. Unlike renting, where the monthly payment contributes solely to the landlord's income, buying a house with outright cash or mortgage gradually leads to homeowners building equity in their property. You see, over time, the property's value may appreciate, allowing homeowners to acquire wealth. And equity buildup can be leveraged for various financial needs, such as retirement planning. The second advantage of buying a house here in the UK is that you would have a stable housing cost. Homeownership can help elevate the cost of living crisis in the UK by providing a shield against economic uncertainty and rising living expenses. Now, housing costs associated with owning a property offers more predictability than renting, which becomes significant when times are tough. However, it is worth noting that the cost of living crisis can still impact house owners, especially if they have a mortgage. But this is where fixed rate mortgages comes in handy, as they provide a constant interest rate for a certain period throughout the mortgage term, protecting homeowners from fluctuations in interest rates during economic ups and downs. Still under the stable housing cost point, homeownership provides a financial anchor that allows homeowners to plan their finances better and allocate resources effectively, reducing the risk of unnecessary financial strain, which improves overall financial well-being. Moreover, stable housing costs can help build a solid financial foundation, giving homeowners control over their budget and freeing up resources for their needs. The third advantage I would like to highlight is personalization. Now, this point is one of the reasons why we decided to buy a house in the UK, because owning a house in the UK has allowed us to personalize, decorate, and customize our living space to suit our lifestyles. Unlike our previous rental properties where restrictions on modifications apply, now that we are house owners, we have the autonomy to make changes that suit our preferences and lifestyles. Honestly, the personalization of our house has helped us to foster a sense of pride and attachment to the property, giving us a higher quality of life and improving our overall well-being. You know, when we're buying our house, we made it in such a way that everyone can have their space and in such a way that it just fits our lifestyle. You know, since moving into our house, I now have a space dedicated to creating content, which has helped me consistently create content and upload it on YouTube. I'm sure you guys have noticed that. Likewise, my husband and I work from home, and now we have our separate home offices, meaning that we don't have to be in each other's space like before. You know, I now have a room set up for my toddler where he can play and just have his own space and have his own mini world. We can now host family and friends as often as we like, as in it's just been bliss since we bought our house. The fourth advantage is community engagement and stability. You see, owning a house is not only beneficial to individuals but also to the community and its economic development. Now, home ownership often leads to increased community engagement and stability, which can significantly impact the social fabric of a locality. Studies have even shown that homeowners are likelier to establish roots with their neighbors, contributing to community stability. Now, the stability home ownership provides to people can impact local schools, businesses, and public spaces, creating a sense of belonging and collective responsibilities. Since moving to the UK over 5 years ago, I have longed for a sense of belonging and collective responsibilities. However, moving into our own house have helped me achieve that because I have taken deliberate steps in building new relationships and getting to know my neighbors. I have even joined a helpful community of homeowners in my area, which has helped me establish roots with my neighbors and contribute into the social fabric of our local community here where we live. The fifth advantage is long-term investment. Owning a house in the UK is often considered a sound long-term investment because the real estate market has historically demonstrated appreciation over time, which makes home ownership an attractive option to those seeking to build wealth. Now, I come across arguments a lot on the internet where people would argue that home ownership does not help people build wealth. You should invest in the S&P 500, but I bet to disagree. Simply because I come from a background where I have seen people build wealth via real estate. So I've had a front row seat to see how real estate can help people build wealth throughout my adult life till now. And I also intend on creating wealth through owning real estate globally, not just in the UK now, just like people around me have done. So buying a house in the UK, even though it is a house I live in and not an investment property, still ties in nicely into my goal of owning real estate globally. Additionally, property ownership can serve as a hedge against inflation as the value of real estate tends to rise with the overall cost of living. Now, one thing about using real estate to build wealth, from what I've observed with people who have owned real estate around me or have built wealth through real estate around me, is that it is not a short-term investment. So home ownership is a long-term investment, and thinking of owning a property as a long-term investment perspective has made home ownership a strategic financial decision for us after we did a deep dive into our financial situation and crunched some numbers. Now, if I watched the video to this point, it means you find this video valuable. So give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who will find it beneficial. One thing in life is that there are drawbacks to everything that has advantages. So let's talk about the disadvantages of home ownership. The first disadvantage is long-term financial commitment and upfront cost. Now, one thing with owning a property is that you cannot just sell a property whenever you want to sell it and get your money out of it. You have to wait for a while. So if you buy a piece of real estate today, you have to wait for a while for it to appreciate or for you to be able to add some value to the property and sell it for a profit, or to even get the amount you bought the house for. If not, you might be at a loss. So like I said earlier, owning a property is a long-term investment. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. So one of the baggages owning a property comes with is that you have to have a long financial commitment towards the property, basically. Likewise, purchasing a house can be quite a hefty financial undertaking if you're a first-time buyer or even if you're a senior buyer, because of the upfront expenses such as the deposit if you're buying with a mortgage, or if you're even buying with outright cash, you need a lump sum of money. You also need to pay for legal fees of purchasing that property, among other things. And if you're buying a property here in the UK, there's a whole lot of fees associated with buying a property in the UK. If you are curious about the cost of buying a house here in the UK, you can check out my videos on the expenses involved in purchasing a house here in the UK. I'll link this video for those who are interested in watching it. On top of that major roadblocks of upfront cost, you also need to think about monthly mortgage repayment if you're buying a house with a mortgage, because that can stretch your budget thin. And unnecessary costs like repairs and maintenance can add to your financial burdens. Even if you buy the house with outright cash, you still need to repair and maintain the house. I mean, having a house is high maintenance, to be honest. So it doesn't matter if you're buying with a mortgage or outright cash, this is still a drawback. The second disadvantage would be property value risk. Now, the property market is prone to fluctuations, meaning that property values may not always appreciate and could be affected by economic downturns, which can put homeowners' equity at risk. Therefore, the timing of buying and selling property is crucial, as market uncertainty can pose risk to homeowners. Likewise, unfavorable economic conditions or personal circumstances such as changes in financial capacity can force homeowners to sell at an impromptu time, leading to financial losses or even foreclosure. That is why getting insurance for critical illness, life, and employment is essential to stay financially protected when you own a home. Another disadvantage is limited flexibility. Compared to renting, owning a home can hamper your mobility. Like I said earlier in this video, when it comes to selling a property, the process can be prolonged and cumbersome, hereby limiting your ability to relocate swiftly in response to a career or lifestyle changes. The last but not the least disadvantage of owning has to do with maintenance and repairs. Owning a house comes with a great responsibility of ensuring it is well maintained, like I mentioned earlier in the video. This means that you have to be ready to handle maintenance costs, repairs, and unexpected issues that might crop up with your property. Unlike renting, where the landlords are responsible for most of the maintenance, as a homeowner, you will bear the full responsibility of the condition of your house. That is why having insurance is crucial to help protect your home from accidental or natural disaster damages. You see, home insurance provides financial protection. If your house is damaged or destroyed, insurance can help you cover the cost of rebuilding or repairing it, ensuring you do not have to bear the entire financial burden alone. Likewise, if you have a mortgage, and let's say something happens to the property and the property is not livable, the insurance company can pay your mortgage out, so they can pay your mortgage in full depending on how you've insured the property. And even if you don't have a mortgage and let's say the house is not livable, they will pay you out and you can use money to buy a new house or build another one. You can also take this insurance thing a step further by getting content insurance to cover personal belongings inside the house, such as furniture, clothing and electronics, so that if anything happens to your belongings that are inside the property, you can contact your insurance company and then they can pay you up. So having the right insurance coverage to protect your home and belongings from any unforeseen event is essential. To sum this video up, purchasing a house in the UK presents advantages and disadvantages, which means the decision to buy a house here in the UK should be made after thoroughly considering personal circumstances, financial readiness and long-term goals. If you want to know what to consider before buying a house here in the UK, you can watch my video on 11 factors to consider before buying a house. I'll link to this video for those interested in watching that. Moving on, although owning a house can provide stability and potential financial gain, it also entails financial commitments, market risk, and restrictions on flexibility. Therefore, assessing your priorities and weighing the advantages and disadvantages is crucial to making an informed decision that aligns with your lifestyle and financial objectives. Now that brings us to the end of the video. Please feel free to leave a comment and suggest other topics related to home ownership that you would like me to cover in the future. Bye for now and thanks for watching.